Yo, what's going on, guys? GZTV back with another video, and in this video we are going to be talking about Dexter, New Blood, the 10th and final episode of the little mini-series, the spin-off to the original Dexter series, Sins of the Father. Pretty crazy stuff. I mean, we finally end the series off, which obviously I haven't been anticipating because, man, it sucks to see this series go. This is one of my favorite series of all time, probably top 3. Definitely behind Breaking Bad for the best I've watched on the channel. Um, so yeah, let's kind of get into the plot. We'll do the critical reception. We'll do all that type of stuff. So let's go. So getting into the plot, as the townspeople of Iron Lake bring food and blankets to his burned cabin, Dexter remarks that he cannot teach Harrison the code of Henry in a place filled with such good people. This is a very good town, people of very good faith. Um, Not a lot of crimes. I mean, every now and then you'll have the guy like Kurt, who's just a sick murderer that like rapes children and does all this type of stuff, or not rapes, like murders women, and kind of rapes them and kind of like sexually assaults them in a way. But yeah. Angela arrives after issuing an all points bulletin on Molly Park because she has no idea where the hell this girl went. She's getting really concerned, obviously. And yeah, she tells Dexter that his house was a target of arson and asks if he has any enemies, anybody he's crossed in the past, that could possibly help them with the investigation. Harrison steps in to cover for him, suggesting that Zach and many of his friends fought with him and may have been involved in the fire. I thought he was going to talk about the Rock Creek guys, but instead he talked about Zach and his wrestler friends. Wow. I don't know, that's kind of fucked up, but Harrison had to do what Harrison had to do. Afterwards, Dexter suggests to Harrison that they should move to Los Angeles for a fresh start, and while Harrison likes the idea, he does not want to leave Iron Lake just as he is starting to fit in. He has kind of a little girlfriend going for him, and yeah. While checking the burned cabin, Angela finds something that catches her attention, and we don't really know what it is till later on in the episode. That night, she returns home and sends Harrison and Audrey away. After that, she and Logan arrest Dexter for the murder of Matt Caldwell. They send him to go get groceries as they cover to pretty much arrest Dexter for murdering Matt Caldwell. And obviously Dexter is going to deny it, but he did murder him, so they have a pretty strong case and all that stuff. At the station, Angela has him on record state his name as Dexter Morgan. He tried to lie at first as Jim Lindsay, but they all know that he is Dexter. Now they know, and reveals the titanium screws along with the note that Kurt left at her house. Someone pretty much testifying that Dexter killed, or Jim Lindsay killed Matt Caldwell. So yeah, obviously Kurt left some notes, the screws. Yeah, Kurt's pretty much trying to frame him for something that he did indeed do. She also reveals that she found a similar screw at his cabin, whose serial numbers coincide with Matt, and theorized that Dexter killed him after the incident with the deer. And that it makes a whole lot of sense. He's been missing for a while. There has been no confirmation of him anywhere else. So yeah, they can confirm pretty much that Dexter killed him. They have a lot of evidence pointing towards it. Dexter offers a different theory. Kurt killed Matt, lied about his status, burned down all evidence linking him to his cabin, and tried to frame Dexter for that, in an attempt to discredit Angela after she found Iris's corpse, which Angela was not having it. This statement upsets Angela, although Logan considers it plausible. I mean, what if he's right, And obviously he's not right with his theory, but he's trying to get himself out of a pretty fucked up situation, so it's pretty understandable why he would do such a thing. So, yeah. Harrison visits Dexter at the station, and Dexter instructs his son to go to a hotel, promising that this crisis will end soon and that Dexter will be able to get out of jail and reunite with his son. Angela decides to call Angel Batista, which is awesome that he's possibly getting involved in this series. I was kind of disappointed that he wasn't really included in the episode, but it is what it is. She's calling up Angel and Angela, to kind of question him about the Bay Harbor Butcher. Batista states that while he believed at the time that James Dokes was the butcher, his deceased ex-wife and captain, Maria LaGuerta, which we've known and not quite loved in the original series, she believed that Dexter was the butcher. So yeah, there's a lot of things tying in here. There's a lot of evidence. There's a lot of people saying that he did it. And yeah, Angela then sends him a photo of her with Dexter, shocked that Dexter is still alive. And Angel's like, what the hell? He sets out for Iron Lake with LaGuerta's investigation files. Like, he's like, we're gonna get this motherfucker. Like, he's not going anywhere. Angela once again confronts Dexter, showing a pattern between the needle marks on Miles O'Flynn, Jasper Hodge, and some of the butcher's retrieved bodies, reaffirming her belief that he is the Bay Harbor Butcher, which obviously doesn't seem possible at the time. Like, if you're just getting into the series and she brings you this evidence, like, as an audience, but I mean, who else uses ketamine to sedate victims? That doesn't happen often, you know. She states he will be arraigned for Matt's murder, and when Batista arrives, he will be extradited to Miami and be charged as the Bay Harbor Butcher, possibly getting the death penalty because, as you all know, Florida has the death penalty, so that's an interesting thing. That's an interesting little thing they take from real life, I guess, to make it worse for him. Dexter asks her to turn the camera off and tells her to go to Kurt's cabin for proof that she was right about Kurt being a serial killer. And he's trying to stray her kind of away from her own investigation here by taking her to that cabin. Angela decides to go and put Dexter back in his jail cell as she's doing this. So at his cell, Dexter is tormented by Deborah, a vision of Deborah mocking him for thinking he could get away with everything. Don't get caught. Dexter then asks Logan for water and puts him in a headlock, demanding to be let out, which is kind of fucked up because honestly, Logan's not even really involved with the investigation, so for him to, like, attack him is kind of screwed up, but yeah. However, Logan takes out his gun and tries to shoot Dexter, prompting Dexter to break Logan's neck, killing him. A innocent character dies here, and it kind of sucks, but it is what it is when our protagonist is trying to fight people off. He takes his keys and escapes the station. He contacts Harrison, telling him to meet him at the place where the deer incident took place. So they're going to have kind of a confrontational thing, and this is probably one of the most major parts of this miniseries. Meanwhile, Angela discovers Kurt's hideout and is horrified at finding the bodies, including Molly's. So this is how she finds out that Molly dies, and it's a really fucked up thing, because she's starting to get an emotional connection with her, like, as partners. And of course, she ends up dying just like her friend Iris, at the hands of Kurt. So, yeah. She tries to contact the station to no avail. She then contacts Teddy, ordering him to contact all possible authorities. Obviously, she contacted the station. No one was in there. Logan was obviously dead. And yeah. Upon discovering that Logan hasn't responded in an hour, she hurries back to the station, where she cries over Logan's corpse, and she realizes exactly what Dexter did. And now she knows that he's a dangerous man, and now she can actually catch him for killing someone. Or at least she think. By early morning, Dexter meets up with Harrison, who notes the blood on his face. Like, what the hell did you do? What is this? You know, I cannot lift my arms. I just worked out yesterday, and it fucking hurts. As Dexter called him from Logan's phone, Harrison deduces that Dexter killed him, and he's right. Horrified and outraged, Harrison aims the hunting rifle Dexter gave him for Christmas at his father, saying that Dexter's code is a lie, and that he kills simply because he enjoys it. That's not all the way right, but I mean, in this case, yeah, you can prove that he lied about the code in this instance. Harrison says that if not for him, Deborah and Rita would still be alive, and that he would have grown up to be normal and happy. So yeah, Dexter kind of fucked up a lot of things for this kid, and he's right. Dexter's finally, like, having a full circle moment, like, yeah, I did do this to my son. And Harrison tells Dexter to open your eyes and look at what you've done, which is some of the most powerful words in the entire series. Dexter reflects on the innocent people in his life who have died because of him, and realizes that Harrison is right. He destroys everyone he gets close to, and can never be the good person and father he wants to be. He can never lead a life he wants to live. He then tells Harrison that they will both be better off with him dead, and tells him to shoot him. After a moment's hesitation, Harrison shoots Dexter in the chest, and a mortally wounded Dexter tells his son he did good. So yeah. As he lies dying, Dexter holds Deborah's hand before succumbing to his wounds. So Dexter dies just like Walter died, but in Breaking Bad, but obviously a less slow death. Angela arrives at the scene. Instead of arresting Harrison, she realizes what he did. She's like, oh, well, you killed a guy that rightfully needs to be dead. Angela gives him money and instructs him to leave town and never come back. She then alters the crime scene to make it look as though she killed Dexter in self-defense and calls in an officer-involved shooting. In his truck, Harrison finds the letter that Dexter wrote to Hannah 10 years before, instructing her that unless Harrison shows dark tendencies, let me die so my son can live. The series ends with Harrison leaving Iron Lake, finally free of his father's demons. So yeah, that's how it ends. Obviously, we're not going to get anything after that. We could get a spinoff of like Harrison killing people, but that would be kind of dumb. So there you go. That's where the series leaves off. So let's get into the reviews. So kind of getting into my thoughts and other people's thoughts of this episode. This was a very good finale. I think it had decent closure. It's a pretty great episode, honestly. It closed the series out better than the original series ever could. Dexter New Blood's excellent finale was full of necessary, wrenching confrontations and an unfortunate murder that was crucial in completing Dexter's doomed journey. Harrison needed to know that his dad's dark deeds also extended to innocent people who might reveal his secret, like when Dexter was thinking of killing Molly. And Sins of the Father presented just that. Dexter's legacy of blood and how it had inadvertently harmed Harrison for nearly 2 decades. This was a terrific way to cap off the series and course correct the damage done by the previous finale. Yeah, I think it did kind of make up for that shitty finale for the original Dexter. Maybe they planned this all along. I would say this is an A episode. This is a great finale for New Blood. And for Dexter as a series. It's more than just a decent finale by the standards Dexter set for itself during its endless creative throw. Father is a very strong hour of television from a show that offers them up inconsistently and very rarely does so at the end of a season. And the episode works so well because it makes us use of the entirety of Dexter, not just its mythology, but the public perception of the show. Father succeeds because it goes places no one expected the show to go based on its history. When I started, reviewing, my first two reviews on this channel were Dexter and Breaking Bad. While the latter series never lost sight that the show was ostensibly following a villain, Dexter writers fell in love with their character and turned him into a hero. It was a misstep that led to some truly awful seasons of television. If nothing else, Dexter New Blood rights that wrong and gives the character the ending he deserves. Overall, this was a well-crafted, solid season with an appropriate conclusion to a series and a character that many people hold very close to their hearts. Though the ending may be divisive, I found it satisfying and poetic, with fewer issues than the final 3 seasons of the original series. The lesson here seems to be that if you get too attached to an anti-hero, be prepared for some heartache. So yeah, I don't really have much to say. That's pretty much it. I'm not going to get into any negative reviews. Some people say this series should have never been made. I don't know. It is what it is. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. I am out, guys. I'm going to put these clips together and put it on YouTube pretty soon here. Try to post it, get it out by 11 so I can record my Madden video too, because I made some decent changes to the squad. We're going to be playing one head-to-head game. Let's see how that goes. Hopefully we don't play a sweat or anything. Yeah, I gotta get a thumbnail together, all that stuff. So, peace out, everybody.